Hello, friends. It is a little bit later in the morning here. There's been a lot of discussion going on today. My Jupiter is in the third house in my chart, and he is in Gemini, so there's lots of communication going on. And with the Moon in Sagittarius and me being a Cancer, yeah, and there's things going on in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm not going to bother to stop that. I'm just going to keep rolling with it, which is, I think, what the deal is. You have to ask yourself, is what's going on in the background, in the wide world, in even in your immediate area, is it worth all the emotion? Is it worth all of the belief systems? And is it worth believing that your mind or whatever the decisions that can happen, are they worth what you're doing to yourself? And it's you doing them to yourself. It's it's the reverse of look what you made me do, but it's look what you made me do to myself. Nobody, I mean, we can be coerced into things, but we still have to make a decision. It's a lot of times they're not. It's not as drastic as being burned at the stake or or as death. And I was talking with my best friend this morning, and a lot of things come down to, but did you die? In a way, yes and no. So the sun is also coming into opposition with Pluto, and that might feel like death. That might feel like, oh my God, everything's coming apart at the seams, which is kind of the way I felt when I woke up this morning. And one of the reasons why I just waited to let things chill out, and I went into one of my games and I cleared out some stash maintenance. Right, I cleared out some of my bag space, and I mailed some things to another character, and just cleared out a lot of stuff. And maybe that's what we need to do: clear some things out in our life. Get rid of some things that we were holding on to that were important, but now that we're at another level, right? Because Gemini is parallels, but it's also it's both sides. It's up and down, left and right. It's one side or the other, the over or under. And it's also why Mercury is the lowest frequency, not low vibe, right, but the lower frequency of Aquarius. He's the messenger, and Aquarius things is frequency, it's vibration. And Pluto retrograde, now he's at 0 degrees, right? He's back to where he was in the middle of February. The big difference was there. The moon, shortly after he was at 0 degrees, right before he moved to 1. The moon was in Pisces, and then it moved into Aries, and then there was a square. But Mars was right there beside him, right? So it was a lot more intensity. Now Mars is with Uranus, and so that's another of those vibes that Mars was with Pluto in Aquarius, and now Mars is with the co-ruler of Aquarius. And so it's an automatic cough out of nowhere. It's a little odd. Be aware of that stuff too, I guess. Autonomic responses. So there's a bit of a hiccup and a cough, and it all got caught in my throat all at once. So be aware of that. Be aware of where you're getting caught up, hung up. And if you look a little silly in the moment, it's fine. I felt silly about doing these for a long time. I'm kind of talking to myself and looking at myself while I'm doing that, and obviously don't see you guys' faces, but you see mine and my voice and yammering on about this stuff. But give it some time. If you're not sure what decision to make and a decision is required, find out why. Find out why you feel pushed or why you are being pushed, or if you should have already made the decision. That's also something else, a part of this. Did you already make the decision and now you just don't want to engage in it? So, and sometimes pay attention to that little voice. Like yesterday, the night before last, I had my windows down in my car because it was so hot here, and I didn't want my new phone mount to peel off and screw up like the last one did. So I went out there and I kind of took it apart. It was really hot, so I rolled my windows down. And then yesterday morning, I got up and I rolled the windows almost all the way up. And then last night, it rained a lot and my windows were down that far. So I had to run out of the car, close my sunroof, roll all the windows up. And it was kind of funny. Normally, in the past, I wouldn't have thought it was funny at all. But because of the whole listening to myself, my windows weren't all the way down, that could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't. So again, did you die?